But it is getting harder and harder to venture out in public without being watched.
Practically everything you do in public is being recorded somewhere or in some fashion. And the courts have long held that when you're in public, you don't have any expectation of privacy.
This is our back dining room, and we have 2 cameras at opposite corners. And I can pretty much see that most of the guests there look content.
Stephen Lafredo is the owner of Jovia, a high-end restaurant on Manhattan's Upper East Side. The 11 cameras placed strategically throughout Jovia let him constantly monitor his staff and customers, even when he's not there.
I have the same software loaded on my personal notebook computer, so I can pretty much watch what's going on here from anywhere. If I'm on vacation, if I'm away on business, I can really see what's happening in the restaurant.
Now, when you're looking at the screen, where are your eyes drawn typically?
I could see if a guest had to flag down a waiter or if they looked anxietous. I can also look in the lounge area, and I can tell how busy our maitre d's desk is getting by how people are coming into the restaurant.
The employees are aware they are being surveilled.
Somebody's got to prep the table beforehand. The delivery of this dish on 13 was like a disaster.
I'll never go to an employee and say, I saw you do this on camera, it wasn't the right thing to do. What we'll do is we'll talk in a general term with our staff and discuss with them ways that they can better improve the Jovia experience.
Stephen, what about customers? Do they know they're on camera?
It's become more common that there are cameras in restaurants. I think when they see the little black ball on the ceiling, they expect that there are cameras.
In the modern restaurant business, it isn't just cameras that are keeping track of customers.
Anybody who calls to make a reservation will start off with their first and last name and their phone number. If I double-click on that, I can see information, how many times they've reserved, if they've canceled. I can see when they've joined us in the past or any other special comments that I want to put into the system.
So are you going to come back after this?
If I make a note that it's your birthday, or if they're a difficult guest, perhaps,
Really?
and they had a complaint.
Put that note in there?
We might put a code like that in. You know, we could certainly put in codes that say that the person might be very selective about the type of table they get, or whether or not they want to sit in the front or the back room. So the menu offers a lot of different variations.
While restaurants have only recently taken to surveillance, retailers have a long history of it. Cameras were originally put in stores to help detect and deter theft. Retailers have a long history of it. Cameras were originally put in stores to help detect and deter theft. Now, those cameras are used for much more.
Here we see a customer that's entered an aisle. He sort of moves from display to display, and he's clearly looking for something, but he's not taking anything off the shelf.
Marianne McDonough is the Vice President of Global Marketing for Rifd Systems. The software company has made once dumb cameras smart. Its technology is used by giant retailers such as Home Depot and Target to analyze customer movement as it's occurring in order to improve sales.
That's an alert right there. What that red circle means is that this guy has now dwelled in this particular aisle beyond the period of time that this retailer is comfortable with. And that alert says to somebody in customer service, go send somebody now to say to this guy, can I help you find something?
And so when I walk into a store that has your system in and has cameras, as every store does now.
Absolutely.
They count me, then they watch me if I'm sort of loitering in an aisle, and then they also know if I buy anything, I guess.
That's correct.
It's a surveillance tool that McDonough says CEOs are learning to love.
The CEO actually watches video. He's got the system in his office, and he looks into all the different stores and what's going on. It's one thing to get a report delivered to your desk that says, you know, here are the peak times. It's another thing to actually watch that peak time activity happening.
Rifd system is only in its infancy. In time, there's no telling what a retailer will know about you once you enter a store.
I would say the sky's the limit in terms of the amount of things that we can do, and the more we understand about behavior, the better the solutions get, and the more intelligence they'll provide to retailers over time.
The retailers, do they draw a line in terms of how much they want to know about their customers' behavior? Are they concerned at all in terms of privacy or something like that?
Our job as a vendor is to provide solutions for them to really do the things that they need to do, and it's up to our individual customers to sort of walk that line between, you know, transparency and privacy.
As is often the case in the emerging surveillance society, law enforcement is a key beneficiary. Cameras using Verint technology at this Home Depot in Jacksonville, Florida, played a crucial role in the conviction of a suspected murderer. In November of 2003, Robert Snyder strangled and stabbed his girlfriend, Pamela Noble, to death. Noble was found buried in the woods near Snyder's trailer. A shovel, like this one, was found at the murder scene. A decal on it indicated it was bought at Home Depot. Security cameras at the store showed Snyder buying the shovel.
They went back and matched up the times that it was purchased with our register cameras, and we were able to actually view that and see the shovel being purchased. And from there, the police were able to identify the suspect.
That videotape was used as evidence at trial. In April 2005, Robert Snyder was convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, where there are plenty of security cameras.
I had no idea who they were, why they existed, that they would know anything about me.
Dr. Amanda Rifd, a Fresno, California OBGYN, had never heard of ChoicePoint. But ChoicePoint had heard of her. It's ChoicePoint's business to know about you. The company maintains a database that has information on virtually every U.S. citizen. Its trove of personal data, an estimated 17 billion records, includes phone numbers, addresses, credit reports, property records, bank accounts, insurance policies, and social security numbers. It sells this information to major corporations, nonprofit organizations, and the government. ChoicePoint's detailed information is used by its clients to conduct employee background checks, direct marketing, and criminal investigations. It's also valuable to thieves intent on stealing our identity. Dr. Rifd didn't know any of that on the day she first heard the name on the radio.
Economic data out today showed double the...
I heard a short piece of the news, something about this place called ChoicePoint. They had some sort of a breach of information. People's identities had been stolen.
In 2005, the Alpharetta, Georgia company discovered it had given accounts and therefore access to its database to identity thieves posing as legitimate businesses. Rifd found out she was at risk when she received this letter.
The letter talked about how my information may have been given out accidentally, and some people might have taken that information and they could apply for credit. Maybe I should call this number.
Rifd is one of about 145,000 people across the U.S. whose ChoicePoint data was stolen in February 2005. Every week, a major breach or loss of data occurs in the U.S. And it's not just ChoicePoint. Bank of America, Paymax, DSW, LexisNexis, MCI, Ralph Lauren, Time Warner, the Department of Justice, Citigroup, Boeing, Ford Motor, the Marines, universities, railroads, and the Department of Veteran Affairs. Just a few of the hundreds of entities that have reported a significant loss of data from hackers, lost laptops, lost backup tapes, or theft. And ironically, during the making of this documentary, General Electric, the parent company of CNBC, informed its correspondent, me, as well as its producer, that a GE laptop with our personal information, including our names and social security numbers, was stolen from a hotel room. For Rifd, the breach at ChoicePoint led her to discover 2 credit cards had been issued in her name. The thieves had charged about $7,000. Rifd didn't have to pay, but she is unsettled by the incident all the same.
The aftermath continues. I cannot apply for credit. I don't give information on the phone. It's nerve-wracking because that information is out there, and I don't have any control over which way it goes, how it gets used.
ChoicePoint officials declined to participate in our report. But its CEO Derek Smith did appear on CNBC shortly after the data breach occurred.
We sincerely apologize. I mean, the fact that that they've been, harmed and inconvenienced in any regard is something we take very seriously.